All right, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are going to completely dismantle a super persistent, incredibly compelling, but basically entirely false idea, the myth of the lone creative genius. You know the one, right? We all love the story of the solitary artist just grinding away in total isolation to create a masterpiece. But today, we're actually going to look at the hard data and the history behind some massive creators, and what we're going to reveal is the actual engine driving their exponential growth. We call it the secret team-up. So let's just dive right into this with a really simple question. Do you genuinely think the biggest creators build their massive empires sitting alone in their bedrooms? Well, it's a nice thought, for sure. But as we're about to see by tracking the actual trajectories of top animators, hit television shows, and globally published authors, the answer is a massive, resounding no. The real magic, it all happens through this secret team-up. The reality of this entire industry is hidden perfectly right here in this quote. This comes straight from massive YouTube creator James Rallison, who you almost certainly know better as the odd ones out. He points out something absolutely crucial. Because of the sheer mountain of effort required to produce this kind of content, creators literally cannot afford to be fiercely competitive. They have to stick together. He's openly revealing that strategic collaboration is the actual secret sauce to success. Now, to fully understand why this team-up is so incredibly vital, we gotta look at what happens when you actually try to do it all yourself. You know, when James first started making his webcomic, it looked exactly like that classic solo grind. I mean, he was uploading his little white bubble characters entirely on his own, putting in the hours day after day in what basically looked like total isolation. Just take a look at this timeline, because it really shows you how grueling that solo grind actually is. Okay, so he starts uploading his comic to Tumblr in June of 2012. More than 2 full years later, he finally pivots over to YouTube. And it isn't until April of 2016 that he hits a respectable, but still pretty modest, 278,000 subscribers. Think about that. That is nearly 4 years of steady, solitary work just to find his initial footing on the platform. But let's contrast that painfully slow solo grind with what happens the second you trigger a secret team-up through strategic collaborations. The solo upload, that gets you slow linear growth. You earn every single subscriber the absolute hardest way possible, over months and years. But a strategic collaboration, that brings explosive, exponential spikes practically overnight. Let me show you exactly what that looks like in the real world. The absolute ultimate proof of this explosive growth happened when James teamed up for a truly massive event. We're talking about the 100K YouTuber Battle Royale hosted by MrBeast. Now, this wasn't just some fun video game tournament. This was a highly strategic positioning of his brand right alongside other absolutely massive creators. And check out who he was with. He definitely didn't enter or win this event alone. He was placed on the green team, and they actually won the entire game together. Look at his collaborative partners, fellow animator Jaden Animations and veteran creator Anthony Padilla. By grouping up like this, their massive audiences literally merged, cross-pollinating in a huge way. So what was the actual results of that strategic team-up? Try a staggering 6.5 million views on his channel the very next day after his video about the game went live. Let that sink in for a second. 6.5 million views in one day. That is the true power of stepping out of your solo silo and tapping into a collaborative ecosystem. And it didn't stop there. Building on that crazy momentum, his collaborative uploads triggered these massive compounding spikes. Following some of his uploads, he was gaining an unbelievable 200,000 subscribers in a single week. To put that into perspective for you, there are creators out there who will grind their entire lives and never even sniff 200,000 subscribers. Because of the team-up effect, James was pulling that in over a span of just 7 days. Mind-blowing, right? But here's the thing. The secret team-up actually goes way deeper than just those highly visible YouTube collaborations with other famous faces. To really understand how these creator empires are built from the ground up, let's pull the curtain all the way back on his actual day-to-day production process. Because I promise you, it is not what you might think. During a presentation at VidCon where he was talking about how to produce animated YouTube videos, James just casually dropped this quote, introducing his good friend Rushlight Invader. He openly revealed that no, he isn't just sitting at his desk, perfectly animating every single frame of those massive videos entirely by himself. He even admitted that some of the absolute best visual jokes, like a super specific gag about eating his dog, Floof, were entirely Rush's pitch. And this realization opens up into a brilliant production pipeline.
Basically, James starts by writing the script and sketching out the initial storyboards just to get the timing down. Then he hands it off. A dedicated animator, like Rush, steps in to do the seriously heavy lifting of the complex frame-by-frame animation. Finally, they coordinate all of this seamlessly using shared Google Drives and Sheets. This internal team-up right here is exactly what allows the channel to maintain its incredible quality without totally burning out the original creator.
And honestly, here is the most beautiful thing about this. This team-up strategy scales incredibly well. Once you master delegating and collaborating, you can conquer entirely new mediums, which is exactly how James took his YouTube success and co-created the official Netflix animated series Oddballs. Just take a look at the production credits for these episodes. Television is literally the ultimate collaborative medium. You've got Darren Henry, Nick Lopez, Reese Harvey, entirely different writers stepping in to script individual episodes. They perfectly capture the voice of the characters, so the original creator doesn't have to shoulder that insane burden all by himself. The team-up isn't just a hack, it's the foundational architecture of television itself. But okay, let's broaden our horizons a bit. What if you aren't an animator at all? What if you're working in a totally different creative field? Let's say you want to publish a book or a graphic novel. Does this secret team-up thing still apply to you? Oh, absolutely. Consider the hit graphic novel Middle School Misadventures: Operation Hat Heist by author and artist Jason Platt. It's a truly fantastic, funny book. But for Jason, drawing the art and writing all the jokes about his daydreaming main character Newell, that was honestly only half the battle. Because creating the book is one thing, getting the whole world to actually read it is a completely different story. To reach a truly global audience, Jason relied on his very own massive secret team-up. He partnered up with the Transatlantic Agency. Now, if you don't know, a literary agency is essentially a management company that teams up directly with authors. Their entire job, literally their whole purpose, is to take your creative work and sell those rights to publishers all around the world. In this scenario, the agency is the ultimate secret team-up. Think about how powerful this is. While Jason was literally sitting there focused on drawing the next book in the series, his agency team was out there successfully negotiating and selling the publishing rights across the globe. His work got picked up in Finland, in Israel, in Poland, Portugal, and beyond. Let's be real, one person alone simply cannot effectively navigate complex international publishing law and negotiate foreign markets while also, trying to draw a comic book. So the stark contrast here is super clear, whether you're making massive YouTube animations or publishing graphic novels. The solo artist who insists on trying to do every single task entirely alone artificially limits their own reach. They get completely stuck with local, limited distribution. But finding the right team-up, whether that's fellow creators, dedicated animators, or a global agency, that is what unlocks exponential worldwide growth. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge. I want you to take a hard look at your own projects. Are you stubbornly clinging to the myth of the lone genius just out of pride? It's time to stop grinding in a silo. Look at the data we just went through, drop the ego, and really ask yourself, who do you need to recruit for your own secret team-up today?